Hello. We just finished talking about and working on budgeting. Understanding that it's important to make sure you spend your money wisely and that you stick to your budget so you have some savings as you get older. The next topic we're going to talk about is marketing. Marketing can be looked at from both sides, from the consumer or the person who is using the product, or from the seller, the person who's producing the product and hoping to make a profit. Everyone has something in this, and you need to be aware of how marketing works. Small businesses are very, very important to our economy. There are more small businesses than there are large businesses, and they use marketing all the time. So we're going to start looking at marketing now, and it is important to you. The first question is, what is marketing? And marketing is the activities that promote the buying or selling of a product. When you watch TV or you read a magazine, there are a lot of ads that are aimed at young people or older people. They have a specific group of people they're looking for their product, and they're trying to persuade you to buy it. And if you look at this slide, it says marketing includes advertising, and we have lots of advertising in the United States, selling that product and getting that product into your hand, whether that's getting it to a store where you pick it up or sending it to you. A market, a lot of people think of as just a store. But when we're talking about a market in marketing, we're referring to the group of consumers that is interested in a product, has the ability to buy the product, and is permitted by law to buy the product. So let's take a look at this and I'll explain it a little bit better to you. I may be interested in owning a Lamborghini, but I am not considered part of their market. There is no way I could afford a product, so I don't have the ability to pay for a product. Some products are advertised, and maybe young people want that product, but they can't have it because it's not legal for them to buy it. If it's not legal for you to buy it, then you are not part of the market. Most students like to go out to eat, and it may be McDonald's, Burger King, Texas Roadhouse, and you might persuade your parents to go there. So you are part of the market that can afford that restaurant. And a lot of times you like that restaurant because they've advertised well, or they've gotten you in there and they've kind of convinced you that that's the place to be. You see this a lot of times with clothing and shoes, where a company advertises to a certain group of people, and that group ends up wanting that product, and they have the ability to buy it, and it's legal. So then they are part of that market. Goods and services are what businesses sell and what people buy. Goods are products that are usually physical in nature and available to buy. So when we're talking about goods, we're talking about food, something you can pick up and touch. It could be a car, it could be a computer, it can be anything typically that you can touch, take home, and use. A service doesn't usually have a physical aspect. You can go and have your hair cut, and when you leave the salon, you don't have anything more than when you walked in. You walk in, you get your hair cut, and you walk out. A service has been performed. You did not buy a product, you bought a service. I put in here Netflix provides a streaming subscription service. You pay to watch the videos they have available, but you don't end up with anything physical from that. So that is the difference between goods and services. When you're talking about a different market, universal market versus target market, when you're talking about a universal market, the advertising doesn't really make a lot of difference because everybody buys it. When you think about your parents buying gas, they're likely to pull into whatever station is close by when they need gas. So a universal market is for things that are widely used, like milk. I don't go into the store and say I can only have one brand of milk. Skim milk is skim milk, whole milk is whole milk. Whatever type they have is what I buy. Soft drinks, some people say they have to only have Pepsi or Coke, but if Pepsi's not available, they'll buy Coke. So it's a universal market is one that has certain things that a lot of people use, and it's commonly bought, and you don't give much thought into buying that product. However, a target market is for a specific group, and you try to get that group to buy products. Around Christmas time, you'll see lots of advertisements on TV that are aimed toward children, and it's for buying toys for children, whatever the newest thing is, or a lot of times for your age, it is video games that could be purchased for Christmas. And so they're targeting your age with some exciting new item, and you get your parents to buy that for Christmas. So that's a targeted market. A marketing mix is made up of the 4 P's, and that you can see they're here: product, place, price, promotion. And you add some advertising to that, to the right market, target market, and hopefully you will get a group of people to buy your product. We're going to look at the marketing, the 4 P's in a little bit. Customers and consumers. Now, they sound alike, but they are not the same. A customer buys the product that's being sold, and a consumer uses it. So most of you are consumers. Your parents or guardians go to the store and they buy maybe shampoo, jeans, toothbrush, toothpaste, hairbrush, and you use those items. Your parents buy them, so they are the customer. However, the consumer is the person who uses them, and that may very well be you. Think about what your parents buy or your guardians buy you. Do you tell them you want a specific brand? You are the consumer that's driving the customer to buy that product. Needs and wants we talked about in budgeting. And needs are things you must have to survive, while wants are things you just desire to have. I want to have a boat. I want to have a RV. I want to have the fanciest phone out there. Needs are things like your food, your water, your transportation, and your shelter. Where are you going to live? A home, an apartment. You have to have some place to live to survive. Now, when I talk about transportation, a need is a car that will get you from point A to B. It does not have to be the fanciest car. Wants are sometimes that second car that's really fancy that you've always wanted. So sometimes something can fit into both a need and a want, but it's because you have maybe 2 of them. A need is that car that gets you to work or to the store. The want is that fancy car you've always dreamed about since you were a little kid. We're back to the 4 P's. The product is the first P, and that is the item you want to buy. If it's that video game they've advertised, that is what you want. The place is, how do you get that item? Do you go to Target and buy it? Do you buy it online? Where do you get that product? The price is, how much are you willing to pay for that product? The price is usually set by market demand, and we'll probably talk about that later. But there's always a price where people say that's too much. And a company will find that price point that they want. You rarely find them selling it for too little. Promotion is how are they going to advertise their product so you know about it? Are they going to use print, which would be newspapers, coupons, magazines, that type of thing? Are they going to use broadcast? That's usually an electronic form. That's TV, radio, or internet. Or they could even use maybe specialty items, maybe a pencil with the company name on it. Sometimes you might get a magnet and somebody's advertising and you put it on your refrigerator. They give you chip clips with their names on to make you think of their product. Those are called specialty items. So that ends this, but you can look at the assignment that goes along with this, and we'll be working with marketing for a little while.